Good morning. Welcome to LoveBabz, LoveTalk. It's Monday. Oh my God, the time is flying by. I don't even know what to do. It's already Halloween. I'm just not ready. I, I don't even know. Oh boy, I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready. So welcome to me this morning. I slept so well last night. I've been watching I'll get into what I did this weekend in a minute, but I started watching The House of Usher. I really like this thing. It's just so people will sell their souls for all kinds of stuff, and then when it's time to pay up, they're shocked. Oh, it's just a lot. It's just a lot. Just a lot. But I like it. I like the modernist of it. It's the Edgar Allan Poe short story, The House of Usher. And they've given it a modern twist. And it works. And it's just the kind of thing you want to watch for me, because I don't like scary things. Like I don't like scary things. But I don't mind this kind of, you know, spookiness kind of thing. It's not, it's the Grim Reaper kind of. You make these choices with the devil before you know what your life is going to be like, and then when your life it's just one thing after another. So anyway, it's good. I'm 4 episodes. It's 8 episodes. I'm 4 in. And I went to bed early last night, so that's got to tell you something. I was like, okay, okay. I ate. I was up. I worked on some stuff. Excuse me. It's morning. Lord have mercy. So yeah, that was my life. Oh my God, did you enjoy this weekend? I did. The weather was unbelievable. We had summer on Saturday, summer on Friday. So I'll tell you what I was into. So the weekend started on Thursday. I had Bruce Cohen on, who is the one of the producers of Rustin, the Bayard Rustin story. And it hits theaters November 3rd, and then it'll be on Netflix November 17th. But Netflix sent me a screening of it, and I watched it like some ridiculous god awful hour in the middle of the night, but it was good. I watched it. So anyway, Friday, we went to the Melton McAvey Center for Equity and Social Justice at Gateway. And it was a whole kind of workshop thing. And at first I was annoyed because I was like, it was 8 o'clock in the damn morning. I was like, my brain is not going to be working for this. But as I got into it, it was quite it was profoundly good, talking about equity and social justice, but in a game format where you don't get to pick your outcomes. The outcomes are a roll of the dice, and then you build a story around whatever your outcomes is based on some criteria that they give you, that's predetermined, that you choose based on the roll of the dice. And it was really, really, it was really, really good. So I was there till about noon because I couldn't stay the whole day. So Ife and I were over there. She had to leave because she had to go to an internment at 11. But we spent a good enough time there, so it was good. Nice room over there in Gateway. It was great. And the Melton McAvey's, Gail and Ruby's commitment to legacy, equity, and social justice. This is their legacy. So I was proud to go and support them because they're my friends and I love them, and they're always thinking about doing good. So I went, and I'm glad I did. Although I must say, Gateway, y'all have a whole culinary program, and you do not consider any other dietary constraints other than the status quo. I couldn't eat anything at the luncheon. The salad had so much balls of mozzarella, I couldn't even mess around with it. And after everybody put the tongs on the mozzarella and into the salad, there was no hope for me. So there was no salad without all that damn mozzarella balls on top. That's number one. Number two, everything had the roasted vegetables, talking about, oh, it has a hint of butter. Well, a hint of butter will kill me. So no. So I couldn't even have that. And then, they had some kind of chicken masala thing. So I had a piece of that. That was it. There was nothing else I could eat. I didn't know. I couldn't trust the bread. The breakfast I couldn't trust the breakfast, even though they had bagels. I just couldn't trust anything. So all I had was coffee and a piece of chicken. I don't know, how do you have a whole culinary program and you don't consider other dietary restrictions? And I know there were other people in that room who had concerns or who were like I was like, just couldn't have dairy or for whatever reasons not eating dairy. So that was my wild complaint. So, and I stayed long enough so I could have lunch, but I ended up leaving because I couldn't eat anything and I had to be somewhere else. So I had to go somewhere else and get some lunch because that little piece of chicken was just not hitting. Anyway, but the day itself, was good. So, and then Friday night, I went over to see F&A at the Yale, the David Geffen School of Drama at Yale. This is a Suzanne Laurie Parks play, and so you already know what you're in for. Dystopian, abysmal, I don't know, human condition. Oh my God. I listen, this is what theater is for. Theater is for you to go see something. It doesn't matter if you love it or hate it. It is for you to wrestle with the themes, the tones, the undercurrents, and what you saw. And man, did I wrestle. I came away understanding that I did not enjoy this, but I enjoyed it because that's what theater is for. Do you know what I mean? Like, everything is not going to be everything that I'm just going to absolutely be wild and love. That's not what theater is for. Theater is not to bring you everything that you love. Theater sometimes has to bring you stuff that you hate or that you dislike, because you got to get in there and wrestle with, well, what part that you like, what part didn't you like? What was it that you didn't like about that? And for me, it just played to too many stereotypes around race and culture. And I mean, I just didn't like it. It felt like, you know what it felt like? It felt like Native Son gone awry. It felt like Native Son gone awry. It felt like Suzanne Laurie Parks' take on a Native Son. I hated Native Son. So I don't know. So if I hate Native Son and this feels like Native Son, I think I might hate this. And it's supposed to be a take, some kind of interpretation on, the Scarlet Letter, which it was very little of that to me. It didn't feel like a take on the Scarlet Letter. It felt like an afterthought. It felt like Native Son to me. I don't know. But, Suzanne Laurie Parks is one of our, illuminous playwrights that's working in America today. And when she first came to New York, she was a client of Terry Williams. That's how I got to know her. Damn near 30 years ago, or whatever, how many years ago it was. Maybe more than that. And so I think she was a client for a hot minute. And she came to New York. She was getting her bearings in New York. Slip of a woman, little slip of a woman. Lovely to talk to. So anyway, so that's what I did. That's what I did. I think that was Friday night. Then Saturday, I hung out on the porch all day from like 11 to when we had to go down to the Yale Humanities for the screening of the film Rustin under the Schwartzman Center's a commitment to bringing interesting and compelling art to Yale and to New Haven. So I sat on the porch all day because it was 80 degrees. 80. And then Ife came over about 1-ish, 2-ish. And then we grabbed lunch at she ran over to Beyond the Salt food truck over at the Bricks, which is that new collaboration that Karima Minkins is creating a space over there. And Beyond the Salt truck is parked there as a resident food truck, and the space is for rent for events. So it's a gorgeous space. Alicia turned us all onto it because she had her birthday celebration there, and we discovered it, and Karima discovered it, and then got into it. So anyway, so that's what we did Saturday. So we went to see the screening of Bayard Rustin, and then we stayed for the talk with Bruce Cohen and the woman who did the costumes for it, who was interesting sister. So that was good. It was a room. They had two rooms full of people, the actual screening room and then the spillover. So it was a nice crowd of people. They were very engaged. The film was amazing. I tell you what, it was good to see it a second time because I saw it so much better on the big screen than when I was watching it in my room. Now, don't get me wrong, I love watching it in my room, but I got to see how expansive it was when you see it on the big screen. And I think that's probably why movies are so good. Or at least if I had a bigger space and I could have a projector or something, I could put it on the wall or something. But I can't do that. Anyway, so that was Saturday night, and it's a not a terribly long film, but it's long. And then you have a Q&A, so it was late by the time we got home. And then yesterday was just a chill kind of day. Sunday was chill. It rained. Fall came back. It had to be like 50 degrees yesterday, and it rained all day. It rained all day. I met up with my writing group, which was nice because we do a virtual thing. So that was nice. So we had good conversation. We did a lot of writing, but and we tend not to spend a whole lot of time talking. But this time we did. We had a lot to talk about because, my girlfriend is Jewish, and she is working on behalf of the Jewish people. And she's so against Palestine and what is happening. I mean, I'm sorry. She's so against the bombing of Palestine and the way the Palestinians have been treated and are being treated. So she is on that side of history. And that's why she's my friend. So that was good. And then I just spent the day working on some law school application stuff, which is quite daunting. And and I'm just trying to put myself in a position to apply to law schools. So that was my weekend. It was a good weekend. I can't complain. I cannot complain. I cannot complain. So, and I think Wednesday I hosted the help moderate the mayoral debate with Tom Breen and LaVos. Oh gosh, what is her name? I don't know why I can't remember. And I see her as clear as day. And so we did that, and so that was Wednesday. So really my weekend started Wednesday. And Norma Rodriguez. So it was Norma and me and Tom Breen on Wednesday moderating. I tell you, I thought the woman that they always call Crazy Wendy was the better of the three candidates in the debate. Now, would I want her to be mayor? Hell no. But in the debates, she was the better of the three. That's all, And I thought what's his name? Tom Goldberg, held his own. I think Tom Goldberg has reached his stride too late because he finally found some issue that seemed to resonate with people, but he got to it too late. I mean, I think he's absolutely right in terms of, thinking about Black people and all of that. But he's late to the party with that. And I just don't believe him. So there you go. And and the mayor, well, y'all already know how I feel about him. But he held his own too. And I will say this: they were very respectful of Wendy. They both were gentlemen and respectful to her, even though she was trashing them, and not terribly so. But she's known for that kind of thing. But they treated her with such care on stage, which is what I would expect. But to see it was really Elliker was very, very kind to her, and so was Tom Goldberg. They were very, and she was very kind to, they were very kind to her. So anyway, so that's where we are. So I'm looking at the headlines of the New Haven Independent, and I'll get over to the inner city in a minute. But I guess the city tells tiny home builders to cease and desist. So I don't understand any of this foolishness. So these people, Suki and Todd Godick, they bought a house. They show these people that they're the people that moved into these little tiny homes in the Hill. So these people built a little tiny home village in their backyard. So because they were he's the city plan the letter sent by the city plan department. So Mark Colville and his wife, activist partner Luz Catarinu, they built these little tiny houses in their backyard, 203 Rosette Street. And so the city got wind of it and sent them a letter threatening them, tear it down. But, these people are real activists because they got tired. The city, the city tears down the tents that the homeless people build. And so these people got sick of it and just said, listen, we could put some safe housing in our backyard and clean, safe, we'll monitor it, we'll keep it up just to get some people off the street. And they did that. And the buildings are nice, they're well done. But the city, for whatever reason, and listen, I'm not one of these people who doesn't understand the rules. I get it. But I think if we had a mayor with some leadership that had an administration that would take the accused from his leadership, he would go to these people and say, all right, I see that you did this thing. Let's figure out a way to keep this up. Because I guess the thought is they don't want people doing this, but I don't know what you want people to do. You want people to keep driving by and seeing homeless people on the streets, in tents, under bridges, and they want to help. And this is a way to help, but you don't want them to do it because there's rules. And I get it. And I understand you don't want people just all willy-nilly building structures that might be unsafe, that could be a hazard, that could endanger people. But I personally, I think people living on a bridge is more dangerous than people living in a tiny house in somebody's backyard. But I don't know. I'm not the mayor. I'm just playing one on the radio. I would have liked a mayor who would have walked up to them, went to their house, sat down with a cup of coffee or some tea on the front porch and said, all right, let's think about this. How can we do this? I see that you did it. I'm going to try to protect it. I mean, he can protect it. Not try. I can protect it. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to set up a situation where we're going to monitor this thing while it's up. And then we're going to figure out a way how we can do this. That if people want to do this, there's a way that they can do it with some regulations and all this other kind of stuff in place, but not to make it a hardship or to break people's pocketbooks. See, that's the kind of mayor I would want. One who's resolution driven, not one who's going to just come down like a damn tyrant and just like, no, we can't do that. But you have people on the street who are homeless, who work jobs, who are homeless, and we do not have enough housing. I just feel like when you're the leader, you've got to come and say, let me figure out how to lead in this moment, because this is an impossible situation. Because it's easy to sort of say, damn them, let's tear it all down. No, let's figure out a way how we could keep this, and then think about this as a project-based trial for other people who might want to do this, or look at other plots of land that the city owns or that other people could donate or want to see or could use. I think that's the best use of intellectual capital. Figure out how to work toward the solution. This administration is not solution driven. What they are is, oh, well, it's the rules. Well, listen, rules are made to be broken. Swear to God. This is why we have seatbelts in cars. Remember, I grew up in a time there were no seatbelts in cars. You just put kids in the back seat like it was a couch and you keep it moving in a steel trap vehicle. Then we made rules saying, you know what, for the safety of children and adults and people, so they don't get harmed when they have a crash, let's put some seatbelts in that joker. Guess what else? What else got handled? Kids didn't come home in car seats. Kids came home from hospitals in their mother's arms, sitting in the front damn seat, or maybe a bassinet on the back seat. But what happened? We worked toward a solution because we didn't want to see people harmed. We could work towards, why aren't we working towards solutions? Why? Why? All this intellectual capital we are surrounded by. We're surrounded by 4 or 5 universities. And you mean to tell me we can't come up with a credible solution, a concrete solution to solve homelessness in a city that has less than 200,000 people? You've got to be kidding me. This could be a training ground for what the nation could do. But what does our mayor do? Petty. I just, that's why the unimagination of things, the unimagination. Here's an opportunity to do something. Here's an opportunity to do something. And if he would empower the city plan department to go there to these people and say, let me look at what you got up and let's figure out a way to make sure that it's safe, it's sound, nobody will be killed in it, it won't catch on fire, all the things that we need. Even if we have to designate the backyard as a campground or whatever it is for a trial, for purpose of a trial period, because winter is coming and the money that we're going to spend on tricking out some damn school to house poor, the homeless is not going to be ready in December. So in the meantime, the city has to acknowledge we don't have enough housing for the homeless people. And stop thinking homeless people are stupid. When they go to these homeless shelters, sometimes they are vulnerable and are preyed upon. So that's another issue. The other issue is there are some homeless people who don't want to be in a group situation like that. Like, it's better for them to be on their own somewhere. And they're not crazy to want that. We all want that. We want to have some say over our agency of how we move around the community. Homeless people want the same thing. They want to be able to move about without fear and without harm. So I don't understand. And please, I served on the Board of Alders. I understand the damn red tape of zoning and all that foolishness, because zoning, as you know, was set up to just keep Black folks out of stuff. That's really and then they were like, oh yeah, we have to build some other stuff. Oh, by the way, we'll work on other stuff. But zoning really was designed to to keep neighborhoods black and some neighborhoods white, and never the two shall meet. I wish that this mayor had some sense of I don't know, creativity. He has none. He's not creative. He's not interesting. He's not forward thinking. He's just mediocre. And when you're mediocre, you do mediocre things. And so rather than pull together the city plan department and the public health people and get around the table and invite these people, instead of telling them no, say to them, how can we support this? Because this could be a good idea. And this could answer somewhat of our prayers, not all of them, but some of them. And if we could monitor this like a project, we monitor it, and everybody agree to how we monitor this thing, then you could keep it in your backyard. You could house some people. This is a group of people that we don't have to concern ourselves with over the winter. We'll come back and we'll revisit this concept, but we will let it stand for now, and we'll put in all the measures it needs to monitor and provide oversight, and we'll treat it like a project. We'll treat it like a conceptualized project, and then say to the city, we might invite people to do this, but right now we're just going to watch how this goes, and we'll keep our eyes on it, because we want those people to be safe and the community in which it is sitting to be safe. I don't know, why can't that happen? Why do you look at that and just get outraged and say, it's got to come down? Why? Why are we empowering city plan to be inspired by this? Why are we like this? Why? Why aren't we saying this is inspiring and we want people to do this? But let us pay attention to it as a project, and we'll put in some guidelines and some structure. So if somebody else wants to do this, or if there's a plot of land that we could do this further in neighborhoods, maybe we could solve this problem and be a model to the nation. Or maybe there's some other cities that are already doing this that we could go see and talk to them and ask them, what have been the pros and the cons? What has been good about this? What have you learned about this? If you had to do it again, how would you do this? Why aren't we having those imaginative, inspiring kinds of conversations? But no, what we're saying is, damn them people, tear it down and put those people back under bridges and cardboard boxes and alleyways and all the places where homeless people try to find a modicum of humanity. Why? This is why I get annoyed with the level of mediocrity that comes out of city. Listen. This is personal. It's personal because I'm a citizen of this city, and I hate knowing that people are homeless. Just like I hate knowing people are hungry. See, this is a good use of hatred. You know what a good use of hatred is? That people are homeless and hungry. That's a good use of hate. And I think I'm using it correctly. I hate knowing that there are people homeless, and we act as though we don't see them. They're everywhere. They're on the street corners. They're under bridges. They're at the exits of highways. They're downtown. And everybody thinks it's somebody else's problem. Guess what? No, we are the somebody else. We all have a responsibility. And please, let me tell you something. If I go out on the street right now and poll people how many people believe in God or higher power or some kind of spirituality, nonsense, mumbo jumbo crap, whatever, people think they're better than they are, kind of mess, and they care about humanity. Every last one of them would say, oh, I care about my neighbor and my fellow man and blah, blah, blah. And yet, none of that is reflected in what we do in this city. all these Christians, all these Muslims, all these whatever, whoever, Hare Krishnas and Buddhists and whatever the hell you are, Rasta pastas and all the all the pastafarians, all of it. Just throw it all out there. And yet this city still has a social ills. And I don't say that to say that nobody is doing anything. There are people who are extending themselves. There are churches and mosques and synagogues that are extending themselves to the breaking point. Lots and lots and lots of them. But that ain't everybody. And I would invite people. And there's comments up at the New Haven Independent site. There's 29 comments. But you know what it should be? It should be like 500 comments. Because I know City Hall, somebody's reading this stuff. And I know somebody's listening to me because I know some of them tune in because they tell me. So if they hear me this morning, go and slip a note under the door to the mayor. So, you really should listen to Babz this morning. She's not doing the usual, the mayor is mediocre. I mean, I am, and he is. What I'm saying is that this is a yet again, another opportunity. Another opportunity, because he missed the opportunity. Is, if I was the mayor, and I'm not, I just played one on the radio. He had opportunity to go down to the homeless camps, instead of bulldozing them over. Go down there and hear these folks. Go bring some lunch and go and sit with them and say, all right, what's happening? Everybody tell me their story. Why are you here? What is it about this camp that makes you feel like this is community? That's where you start. I would do that if I was the mayor. I'm not the mayor. I only play one on the radio. I would have started there. I wouldn't have sent bulldozers down there. I just wouldn't have. I would have been like, come on, everybody who works in City Hall, we shut the offices down for a half hour. We're going to go and we're going to bring some food. We're going to bring some services down there. We're going to talk to these people and we're going to find out what's happening. And they all probably been involved in somebody's system somewhere. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to go and we're going to hear what is the problem. And then we're going to figure out if they're going to be here in a camp, how can we make the camp clean, safe, and habitable? How do we do that? That's imaginative. I need a mayor who has that kind of imagination, not this, we just going to bulldoze it. And then where do they go? Then they're going to go and set up a camp somewhere else. They're going to set up a camp somewhere else. And I get it. I'm not so naive I'm 60 years old. I'm not so naive to think that a camp could last forever and ever. No, it can't, because winter is coming, right? Winter is coming. So we got to do something different. But the summer, they're camping. And so I wish the city would have said, okay, we're going to help come. We're going to clean up. We're going to monitor this area. We're going to make sure people are safe. We're going to make sure they're not harmed. We're going to make sure they've got a porta potty out here. We're going to make sure all the things until we figure out how to deal with this situation, Because when we bulldoze people's things, when we trash their encampments, when we throw out the things that they've collected for survival, when we do those things, what we're saying is we have no humanity. We have no humanity. We have no, you know what I wish? I wish churches would have went and surrounded that camp and stood there and say, you know what, we'll take responsibility for cleaning this up and making this place hospitable for these folks. But we don't do that. We haven't done that. I just don't understand how we can't be creative about how we solve problems. And I feel this way. I've always felt this way my whole life. But since spending time with artists and the way artists look to solve problems, I think artists ought to be at every table, in every boardroom, in every school, talking about this is how we could work on this creatively. Bring some creativity to situations. That is what's missing. We run the gamut on bureaucracy. God knows we'll rule and regulation you to death in this town, in any city. But here's the thing: we can elect to change, tweak, disregard, all kinds of things if we want to. If we have will, and by will, I mean political will, we could do whatever we want. We could say, you know what? We're no longer going to, Friday parking is going to be, parking's on the street at metered parking will be free on the weekend. We could say whatever we want. We could do whatever we want. As long as it benefits the populace, we could do whatever we want. I just wish we had an administration that was inspiring, that just could charge up the hill with the torch rather than a damn sword, right? With a flashlight rather than a sword. I want to see that kind of inspiration. Not this, well, we're just going to go and bulldoze, and we're going to make those people tear it down. And then the news people go out there and they go, this is nice. This might make a good Airbnb. People are like, they built this. This is nice. And it's not even fancy. And this is the dish that makes me sick. Why do we want people to have less than what other people have? Why? Why? And these are not even, look, when you look at the pictures, there's like little 6 tiny houses in a row with flowers and at the door and windows so sun could come in. I don't even know if they have little bathrooms in there. I don't even know. You go in and it's just like a bed and some storage shelving stuff so they can have their stuff, and a fire extinguisher and a little electricity and places to put their stuff. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Every religious tenet has some piece about take care of the least among us. Because when you take care of the least among us, you're doing God's work. And everybody will run their asses to churches and mosques and synagogues and wherever the hell they have a religious service. And everybody will dress up and they think they're serving God. And they'll go and tithe and sing the songs and say the prayers for the outcasted and the sick and the shut in and the prison, but they don't take their asses nowhere near it. It's the work for other. Oh, somebody else should do that. But thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers. We should be throwing money at people like this to say, come up with some homeless things, homeless cons to help homeless folks. Come up with some housing concepts that we could try. We got land where we could try homeless. We could try some homeless housing that I've seen them all over the country. We got a whole school of architecture at one of the most prestigious universities in the whole wide world. And we're not asking them to come up with some plans for some housing for homeless people. We're not putting money toward doing that. Are you kidding me? We could cure this homeless problem. We could. I just don't believe that I'm not going to believe that we can't do it. We have the tools. Why are we have intellectual capital everywhere. You go, listen, every 2 feet there's a Yaley. Who knows 10, 30 other Yaleys. We got a whole school of architecture. What? We got Make Haven, who I'm sure could make New Haven amazing. All that talent in there. Are you kidding me? We got a whole technical school in the next town. A whole technical school. A vocational technical school. A whole one. Who we could invite to work with the School of Architecture to build some housing. Where would the money come? Oh, I don't know. Let's find some. Hey, Yale, you know what? Donate some money to this. Y'all got billions and billions of dollars. You could donate whatever it takes. These school architecture kids would build some stuff, design some stuff that would be low cost and affordable. Or we could just look around the world and see who's doing what. How much does that cost? We got containers. Okay, let's do some containers. Let's do some other stuff. Let's try. Let's be the city that tries. Why are we like this? Why? And then we want these people to just be out in the streets. We think that's a better deal. That's a better deal to have people under bridges. And listen, there used to be a time where we could put a face on homelessness. Oh, they're drug addicts, they're this and that. But guess what it's not now? Guess what it is now? Whole families, working people, working people. Do you hear me? Working people that cannot afford the rents, that cannot afford housing. Working, what working means? That they go to a job every single day and collect a paycheck. But they're trying to make it do what it do out of shelters. Families. I'm not making this up. Families. It's unconscionable to me that we do not. And there are people out there that are working on this issue night and day, who are losing sleep working on this issue, who are talking to anybody and everybody that listen. And these people said, listen, I got a backyard that got some room. I could build some stuff. And six houses. So that's 6 people who ain't under somebody's bridge or in somebody's shelter, that can put their things safely. And from what I can see from the pictures, it looks pretty clean. Looks pretty clean. Doesn't look trash, doesn't look anything. And it's a couple who lives here in one of them. And they got bins. So they got bins so they can put their food in. So, it's not out in the open, so animals are not coming in, I mean, they're trying to be somewhere, trying to exist. And why don't we want that for people? Why? And he's like, oh, we'll just put them through a process. How long is that gonna? So you want them to get out? Everybody get out until we go through this process. And it's just gonna take forever and never and never, because you could really do some stuff, And I hope the Colvilles could haul their asses into court. Just haul them into court. I swear to God, if I was an attorney, I would take this on for free and just be I'd just be on this. And I'm no attorney. I'm just playing one on the radio. But this is the kind of stuff this is the kind of freedom fighting that needs to happen. Because why little people can't win in these things is because they don't have the money and the time to be going through the muck and mire of the legal system. So anyway, that's just how I'm feeling. I just feel that we could be better. And there's so many opportunities for us to be better. And there's a whole organization that does this. Pallet is the people that do this stuff. And they're a for-profit company. and in the New Haven Independent article, the tiny homes were sourced from Pallet, a for-profit company that has successfully sold the concept of homelessness mitigating prefab shelter villages to over 100 communities across the country since 2017, and which helped assemble all the Rosette Street structures over the course of this past Saturday morning. So 100 volunteers helped them over the past few months to complete construction efforts leading up to the erection of these 6 homes by leveling the ground and establishing foundations for the structure. So they didn't just here's a pop-up. They actually took some time. And the people that make these things came and said, all right, let me show you how to do it. And they were like, we can't cease because we have a commitment to people. And we will certainly never desist. And I'm with him. And the city sends this harsh ass letter, it's a threatening letter. They're going to stay. And unless they physically want to go over there and throw these people out, which I doubt, they don't want those optics. I swear to God, they don't want them optics. Oh, they don't want that smoke. I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know who I'm voting for. My vote is still up in the air. I have a sense. But you know what I could do with my vote? Whatever I want with it. I could make a different choice. I'll tell you that. I'll make a different choice. I don't gotta go what's on, I don't gotta go what's being served. I could put another option on the table. That's what I could do with my vote. Because I could write whatever I want and go to bed at night feeling like, okay, I did what I wanted to do. I'm just saying. So, I think the city plan people have got to sort of start thinking about, well, what would tiny communities look like in New Haven? I want to see that. Laura Brown, I want to see that, executive director of city plan. I want you to work on that and come back with some solutions. And she's I mean, I don't know Laura Brown. She seems nice. She nice little letter. Dear Mr. Colville, I hope this message finds you well. We greatly appreciate your proactive approach in having Jacob Miller and colleagues meet with City of New Haven staff on Wednesday, October 18th, regarding the proposed pallet shelter development on Rosette Street. One key takeaway from our meeting is our shared concern for the health and well-being of the city's most vulnerable residents. It is this common goal that motivates us to ensure that all your endeavors align with both the city, state, and legal requirements, thus safeguarding the interest of the community and those you seek to serve. We have learned that the pilot shelters were currently installed this weekend without the same review for compliance with both the building code and the city zoning ordinance, as other property owners must follow while building and adding new structures on their land. Considering this, we need your cooperation by removing what already has been built and to cease and desist any further building of shelters until you have a variance. See, this is where it gets all stupid. I think this is where it gets stupid. Because first of all, these are not regular housing structures as if they were building houses, right? So, and I think they put that in there because they don't really have some zoning for small, tiny houses. They don't. Because I dare say if they did, the Colvilles would have said, all right, we're going to tap into this. We're going to go here. But there's nothing there, right? So that state, all this foolishness is just verbiage stupidness. So considering this, we need your cooperation by removing. And if we don't, what are you going to do? You're going to come and bulldoze those too? Until you have a variance from the Board of Zoning Appeals. Okay, and any needed relief from state building regulations. We are willing to work with you on identifying regulatory barriers. You don't even know what they are. You don't even know. I would have written a different letter if I had leadership at City Hall to say, okay, we don't have a tiny house policy, but we're going to use your model to help us craft a tiny house policy. That's what the hell should have happened here. We're going to use your tiny house commitment and we're going to craft legislation because the pallet people been doing this. So they got some awareness of how to do this. So we're going to bring everybody to the table. It's like, we need a policy now because this is happening. Right? And we all know the bureaucracy of stuff. We just know. So miss me with this letter, Laura Brown, Executive Director, City Plan Department. Miss me with that letter. That's just so carrying piss. That's all that is. That's just carrying piss. You just toting piss. Because I would have inspired my people to write a different letter. But I'm not the city plan. I'm not the executive director of the city plan department. I'm just playing one on the radio. But if I was a city plan, I'd be like, you know what? All right, this is already up. What's our tiny house community policies, regulations? Do we have any? Okay, so here's an opportunity now because tiny communities are coming. They're coming. So let's create a policy so that we can be out of front of this, which we've already missed the opportunity to be out in front. So now we have to play catch up. So let's catch up to the rest of the world. That's my thinking. So anyway, I've got some folks coming on in the next hour, which I'm very delighted by. So I've got y'all know Jenny Nelson, Collective Consciousness. They got a new play that they're opening their new season with, Fairview by Jackie Sibley's Drury. And so she's Jenny Nelson, Jamie Geit, and Kendall Driffin are going to come and talk about it. So I can't wait. And this is going to be directed by Jenny Nelson. So the next hour, I'm talking to the Collective Consciousness folks and the new play Fairview that they're going to be kicking off their season with. Woo! So I will be back with artists who I love. So I'll see y'all in the 10:15. Stay tuned. Is that Al Green?
Hi, this is Babz Rawls-Ivy from New Haven, Connecticut, and you're listening to WNHHLP 103.5 FM, streaming live at newhavenindependent.org.
Don't look so sad. I know it's over. But life goes on, and this world keeps on turning.